Today we caught it all with Shavawn Jacobsen. She's a digital marketing specialist for Counties Energy, and in 2023 she won the Up and Coming Marketer of the Year. We caught it all about putting yourself in uncomfortable positions, relationship building and resilience, and using your strengths to break barriers. Let's get into it. Today, Shavawn, we are so excited to talk to you, and what we like to do now is start off with a random wellbeing card just to get you in the zone, get you going, so you can pick any card that you like.
Okay, start from the top.
Start from the top.
When you think of home, what specifically do you think of? When I think of home, I think of Christmas tree, obviously festive, my partner Matt, and our two dogs, our Chihuahua and our Swiss Shepherd. They are different sizes, but that's my home, I would think, with my family.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's a very different breed of two dogs.
Yeah. For the two different people.
Yeah. Do you have a favourite? Do you like the smaller dog or the bigger dog?
The bigger dog is a puppy, so 5 months old.
Okay.
But my dog is the Chihuahua.
Little baby.
Stelly.
Little one. Nice. Now, you've learnt so much about perseverance and hard work from your parents. So tell us about that journey from South Africa to moving to New Zealand and what you learnt amongst that.
Yeah, so I moved over, we all moved over, my two siblings and my parents in 2005. Big culture shock, but we had each other and that's what counted. My dad came over first and he stayed with some friends that they knew of, and he came with $50 in his pocket for a better life for us and for our future generation. And he put in the groundwork, made this hub for us, got a rental, got us into school, and as soon as we landed, he had everything there for us. And then the next week we were in school. Wow. So it was a huge transition into looking behind your shoulder and wanting to know what's around and being very aware, to then being able to walk to school and not have your parents with you. And I think that was a huge shock for my siblings and us, and understanding it's safe and you can be a normal child and you can go out and you can play, and you can play out in the street with neighbours and stuff like that, and it's no fences and anything like that. So it was a big culture shock, but I think it made me resilient into understanding the different cultures and coming into a whole new culture and multiple inclusivity into New Zealand. So it was great, and my parents worked really hard to get to where they are, and I think they are my role models in understanding that to work hard it pays off and you get what you want. So yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Have you ever talked about to your parents as a side topic, but from a parenting point of view of having to have policed you guys effectively in South Africa, so there's one way of you had to learn how to be relaxed and play, but from a parenting lens, how did they go with going like, go down the road, go play?
I think it took a while. Like they were in the lounge looking out the door. The door was open, we were always playing there, but there was a specific time where you weren't allowed to go out, and you had almost like a curfew, whereas the other kids would play out there because their parents were so relaxed, whereas my parents were a bit like, no, it's dark now, like you have to come in. So I think it took them a couple years to understand it's safe for us, and we know that you have to be self-aware, but also it's okay to be a kid.
Wow, that would be such a big shift from that protective parent, like to let it go, and that fear would be massive. That's pretty massive for them.
Yeah, definitely.
So what impact has that had on your relationship building? So moving from one country to another and sort of making friends and getting used to the culture, but also long term as you are now, how has that affected your relationship building? Yeah,
so obviously we left all our family behind, and so I didn't have that connection as strong as people here in New Zealand that have their wider families. So I almost adapted to join everyone else's families and go to like special festive season events and stuff. And I think my parents really made the most of it. So for Easter, my dad used to create a map and get all our friends around, and we all used to
cool.
do that. So they really tried to help us create our own family in Aotearoa, and so I think that's what helped me build those relationships, is understanding that we all come from different places, but if there's mutual respect and understanding, and you love each other for who you are, then that's what makes a really good relationship. And I think coming from being culture shocked and understanding that I got so welcomed into New Zealand as a child in school, that's all you need to do is like welcome people with open arms. And so I think that's what I do with my relationships.
Awesome too that your parents were on board with supporting that, if that makes sense, because so many, if they're worried about lots of other things and working as hard as they are, just trying to get some stability for you guys and get the foundations down, to also be going, hold on a minute, actually priority is getting the kids to get those relationships going, and how can we actually be a part of it to support it. That's just another huge... my parents, big high five.
they really made a lot of sacrifices for us, and I think we'll be eternally grateful for that. But they put us first, and I think we're really working hard to show them it was worth it.
Yeah. So how has that, so those sacrifices and everything that you've seen, how has that influenced you? Because you are somebody who likes to break barriers, and you put yourself into some pretty uncomfortable positions to push and make change, both for yourself and for the people that you're working with. So how has that influenced that, and what do you do around breaking barriers?
Yeah, I think it's understanding your goals and your objectives in life, and you have a clear path. And obviously I'm someone that puts in a 5-year plan, and obviously COVID, that was a 10-year plan, and it changed a little bit. But when you have a goal, and I'm very goal driven, and I have that drive to want more, and I think that's what being comfortable in uncomfortable situations, and I think I've learnt that from my parents a lot, being adults moving here, making a whole new group of friends, new workplaces, and completely different culture, and putting yourself out there. And I think that's what they did, and they've become so successful, and I want that, and I want to show them that that's how it's done. And so I think that's breaking barriers and understanding your strength and your skills, and what comes next. And
there's a lot to be said for one, accepting you have strengths, because a lot of people, if you said, so what are your strengths, they'd be like, I don't know, and they kind of dodge the question. But A, to own them, but B, then, like as I was talking to your boss earlier, scattering them around and going, here's my strengths, see me do it. That puts you in every good stead to be seen for promotions, to be seen to be offered other jobs. By doing that, you're stepping forward into it and owning it and going, if anyone needs my gifts, I'm here. Like, just let me know, and I'm really good at this stuff, but I'm also going to work really hard to make sure I'm the best that you could possibly ask for.
Exactly. And like, for me, knowledge is power, and so in marketing, knowing your stuff and being confident to relay that, and especially in groups where you don't normally, there's people higher than you, and there's people that are engineers and stuff like that, and just making sure that your voice is heard. And I think at Counties Energy, that's a big thing here, is inclusivity.
I love that. And you recently won Up and Coming Marketer of the Year, so massive congratulations for that. That's not an easy award to get, so that is so awesome.
Thank you.
But your path into marketing hasn't been the traditional one that most people would expect, so talk to us about that, and talk to us about how you've gotten to where you are now.
So coming out of high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go, but definitely wanted to show my parents that I can, be successful, and however that may look. And so I went straight into university. I got a business diploma, and I think I realised that's not for me. I'm more creative, I'm more outgoing, confident, and so I kind of went away from university and got an administration job in an accounting firm in Auckland. Moved into Auckland from Pukekohe, and kind of was like, I'll just feel it out, see how it goes. And so the marketing manager took me under his wing and was like, I think you'll really like this. And so I've just been kind of learning from him and understanding what marketing is. And then I started studying digital marketing, and that's when I really found my passion and was like, this is what I want to do. Is like, no 2 days are the same, but you know, you're there for the customer, you're there for analytics and insights and understanding how you can benefit someone or an outcome. And I think that was really cool. And I kind of took that step into moving out of an accounting firm and into somewhere local like Counties Energy and moving back home. And I got this job as a coordinator, a marketing and communications coordinator. And it's just gone from strength to strength, and I've really shown my talents. And you know, now being a digital marketing specialist, it's amazing. And I think I'm really proud of myself for doing what I thought was best for myself. And I think normally the way is you get a marketing degree and you get an internship, but I think I needed to know for myself what I needed to do.
Yeah, and I think a really important message for anyone listening is there is no path, and you create your path, and every single person, just like our well-being or any journey that we're on, is always going to be different. We're never making all the same decisions, and so don't think you're pigeonholed. Like, you've got goals, you know where you want to be getting to. How you get there, you're not going to know how you get there, but you know what that endpoint may look like or feel like or sound like. But doing that, there's all these different decisions and all these opportunities, and someone taking you under their wing, you couldn't have guaranteed that was going to happen. You know, but the path that opened up, and probably because you were sharing those skills and strengths and asking questions, because people love great, beautiful, meaningful questions being asked. They're like, this is someone who's thinking about it. So
exactly.
That's so
and
cool.
I think the other thing to mention is you learn from your mistakes, and your mistakes make you want to drive to be better. And you need to make mistakes to be able to, you know, break those barriers and overcome stuff that you didn't think you would need to. So I think your lessons are blessings.
We were talking about this the other day as well. So there's one thing to make mistakes, it's another to own them. Because you can't learn from it if you point the finger at someone else's, you know, but that was their part of that. Then it's not doing that, it's owning that there was a mistake made, and then the growth and learning can happen. But if you kind of tuck down and be like, it was someone else's situation, then we're not going to learn from it, we're not going to move. So that's really, really
100%.
Very cool. So in your role, how do you ensure, because you are working with a pretty diverse community, how do you ensure that all voices get heard when you're doing your marketing, when you're doing all of the work you do with your team? And if people aren't at the table, how do you make sure that those voices still get heard?
I think it's definitely a journey, and it's trying to understand your whole audience and the whole community that we serve through partnerships, through, you know, our customer work and our marketing, to understand who is around. I think I'm quite connected to Pukekohe, going to high school and growing up around here, but doing things like creating a customer panel and creating a Te Reo Māori working group and stuff like that, and making sure that we cover all our bases to make sure that every ethnicity and every culture and every community is heard. And I think we're very specific around what we put out on our social medias to make sure that we celebrate, you know, everyone. And I think it's one, we're really based on, you know, we're customer obsessed, and it's one of our values, and making sure that we're out there doing it and people are, you know, coming to us asking questions, and we're there for them. And I think in storm situations that we're giving that communication that's needed, and alerts and outages, and we're working as fast as we can, and our crews are amazing out in the field talking to customers. And I think it's just a big group and a big community at Counties Energy wanting to do the best for everyone. So I think open communication is one of our main things.
That's an epic value, just saying. Customer obsessed is such a cool value, but it also, like how you've just described it, that's every working part of the business as well. That's not just the marketing team going, hey guys, it'd be nice if, you know, this is what we're doing. This is every level of our company. That's a pretty special.
And I think every team works with every team, and I think understanding what they need and their goals and their objectives, and understanding what we need and working together. And I think if you work in an open plan, you get somewhere. And I think all of us want to do better for the customers and for ourselves, and that's why we work together as a team to get the best results.
So cool. Now tell us about some of the communities that you're a part of.
So obviously growing up in Pukekohe, we've got a little high school group of friends that we always get together, have some barbecues, and we've just added a few partners to the mix and stuff, a few dogs, and a little baby Arpie. So it's definitely changing, and I think that's really cool. And having the group of friends that you went to high school and you've been through this whole journey and growth with is like one of my main communities and one of my main cheering squad.
That's so cool.
And then obviously netball, like I do winter and summer netball, and that's amazing. And I think starting off there, I didn't know the group of girls, and I got back into it after high school. And that was one of my being comfortable in an uncomfortable situation and not knowing, are they going to like me? And there's always that in the back of your mind, as confident as you can be, you know, you're still human and you still understand, like, are you going to like me? Do you like me? And it was such an amazing year this year, coming back into netball and, you know, for your mind and your body and moving it as an adult, working full time, and it's coming back to your roots of what do you enjoy and taking time for yourself. So netball was a big one, and, you know, my friends and obviously my family and the wider family and Matt's family. So it's great.
And you spoke about when we talked, like, it's that much harder to make friends when you're an adult as well. But I feel like when you're in that netball community, you're also, so you could be going to the gym, you could be going swimming, you could do anything. But when you come into a community like that and you enjoy the movement that you're doing as well, so you're not going to the gym and like despising every minute being there, if you know what I mean? Because some of us go to the gym because we know we need to, but we don't necessarily like it. But finding the thing that brings you joy when you move also lets you be freer to open yourself up to the people around you as well. So.
Exactly. And I mean, you're pretty vulnerable, like red tomato face and like, you know, running around and stuff, and everyone's the same, and we're all there to, you know, play a game and bond with each other. And I think it is a team sport, and that's what you're there to make a team. So it's great. And obviously I do gym and stuff, but netball it's great.
That's the community. That's so cool. Now, you've had to develop a lot of confidence, obviously, in your time, and to be able to put yourself forward for these different opportunities that come up and ask those questions. So talk to us, because that's an ongoing thing for all of us to keep developing our confidence, and our little self-chat can certainly derail us a lot of the time. So what are some of the tools that you use to really build your confidence?
Yeah, I think I wasn't as confident as I am now. I wouldn't be sitting here today without, you know, going through the whole upcoming marketing interviews and being coached by a coach consultant from Counties Energy, and learning how to be myself in a corporate situation and understanding that I make my own mark, and I'm here for a job, and I'm here to be myself, because no one wants someone that's going to be the same as someone else, right? And so you bring your own thing to the table, and that's why being confident and showing who you are is so important. And that's why I believe I got to where I am today, is because my whole path has been made up by myself and by my family in these different moments. And I think that's what made me who I am, and that's what made me confident. And I think my family is very not the norm. They're very you know, outgoing and witty and fun, and we joke around. And I think being comfortable in that situation and bringing that to work, and, you know, putting your own spin on it, I think that's where your confidence lies as well.
Yeah, that's so cool. Now, I imagine in the marketing industry there can be a lot of knocks to the chin, whether it's presenting a project and not everyone's on board, or, you know, different opinions, or, you know, all of the different challenges that would come with it, and it would seriously challenge your resilience. So what do you do for yourself in terms of, I know that you do something with your mum twice a week, so talk to us about that and sort of how that supports your resilience. Yeah,
so we go to a local fitness, personal training, Balance Your Life, and we go on the spin bike, and it is very fun and you know, chatty, and the personal trainer Helena, she's just always telling us to, you know, go on the bike or go faster. So doing that with my mum and building that connection and maintaining that, as well as moving our bodies and making sure that we're, you know, in our mind, like, well. And I think every time we go away from that session, we're like, that was so good. And we started on Mondays. We do Monday morning sessions and Fridays. So you start the week off really well and set yourself up for the week, and then you end, as much as Fridays are like, you end it on a high as well going into the weekend. And I think that's just so good, and it's supporting local as well, and connecting with other people in the community as well.
Yeah. And that Friday afternoon must be the hardest to get up for it, because if I miss my Friday morning workout, there's no way I do Friday afternoon. So I respect that. That's such a good mindset thing. It's almost keeping on putting yourself in that uncomfortable position, right? To be like,
exactly. And it's a routine and it's a cycle. And I think that's something I'm really used to, is having that routine set in place. And, it's just great that my mum can join in and, build memories. Yeah.
So in terms of your body and mind, what other things have you tried that help to sort of de-stress you and sort of set you up for the weekend to not bring work home?
Yeah, so I think a lot of it is, walking, like we live quite rurally, and so walking on the farm and de-stressing that way. Reading books is another way, one of my main things as well, and just sitting down, relaxing, de-stressing. I do a lot of self-care, a lot of face masks, eye masks, and connecting with friends as well, whether it be on FaceTime or Snapchat, and just having the music on, having a dance around, and just being yourself.
Yeah. Bringing your own energy to it,
Yeah, exactly.
What your vibe is. So with your love of reading, what are some of the most influential books that you've read over the last couple of years? What are the ones that you're like, these are my go-to books?
Yeah, a lot of my books are crimes, so I try not to be influenced by the crime books. But
she wasn't born in South Africa.
And so I think one of the books that I've taken away that's taught me a lot about social privilege is Women Don't Owe You Pretty. And that talks a lot about your social privilege, and you've got almost tunnel vision and you understand your own needs and your own wants, but it's very rarely you stop and you think about, wow, like I'm so privileged, and looking around of like, who else is out there? Because some people might not feel that way, and being aware and self-aware of who you are and how privileged you are compared to what other people face on a daily basis. And I think that's amazing, and I thought it was really good to kind of read up, and that's not really the book I normally go to, but something told me you need to read this. And so I read it and I was just like, wow, like, because it's just, like I said, knowledge is power, and understanding that you're being self-aware and like you're respecting others and their values, and maybe their path is different to yours, but you should owe the same respect, and not everyone starts off the same way, from the same start line, so it's getting them over that finish line together.
And I read something recently called Ordinary Privilege, and I'd never heard of it called that, but I get dressed in the morning, I kiss my kids, I send them to school, I walk down the road, I walk into a shop, and it's just my normal day. What I don't realise, I do realise, but I don't keep it front of mind, is that for someone else, the challenge of just getting out of bed, the energy to get out of bed, the safety to get out of bed, or the safety of my children who know that they're safe in our home, or the colour of my skin not making me worried that if I walk into a shop someone's watching me, etc. And it was just this ordinary privilege that I'd never heard of, and it sort of smacks you in the face that we do. Like, as much as we go, I don't take things for granted, we absolutely do. And the more we can just have those conversations, to not say, something I used to always say was, I don't notice skin colour. I'm friends with everyone. It's no stress. But I should notice skin colour. There is great differences between us, and that's about accepting that and encouraging them to be themselves and talk to me about where they've come from, or just their whānau's history, so that I can understand more and not just be like, I see you all as blanket the same. So it's, that kind of stuff is really important.
And I think it is. It's you're taught to love your neighbour no matter what, right? And I think we're so used to that, just loving anyone, but it's realising the privilege and being able to do that. It was a really good book and something different, aside from crime.
That is going to be added to my reading list. Thank you. Now, we have a question to finish. So you have a question in here from a previous interviewee. So if you read that to us and then answer that question.
What advice would you give your younger self, knowing what you know now? Never give up. I would say keep being yourself, keep doing what you do. You know, people are going to love you for who you are, and you don't need to mold yourself into something else to fit into a group, to fit into a community. You make your own community, you make your own family, and, you know, put yourself first. I would say stop thinking what other people are thinking about you, and stop, you know, having it in your mind. You know, you'll be fine.
That is good piece of advice for most people who are listening today. So now you can write a question for the next interviewee, and I will just farewell everybody. But thank you so much for your time today, Shavawn. It's been amazing to be here at Counties Energy, and we can't wait to hear from you guys about what you thought of this interview. So thank you so much. Awesome. We'll see you again.
Thank you.